we'll just share with you in a second who it is that has won the award. We're actually watching as audiences around him. I think it is Sean Baker for Anora.
Sean Baker.
Yeah, it is. It's Sean Baker for Anora. Wow.
Sean Baker
That's
for Anora.
huge.
Yes, it is.
All right, Sean Baker finally receiving. This is an award he's waited his life for. He's created films that highlight the stories of communities that aren't talked about again and again. Right from Florida. This is a man who his work has been heralded, and Anora in particular, a small budget, a tightly written script. It's important to highlight. Not a lot of visual effects, not very much going on except for the captivating story of its two leads, and Sean Baker on the stage, possibly giving a very, very beautiful speech right now. But Kunal, now we come to you to ask you.
Expected?
Well, I'm glad because it just throws everything up, all the expectations and all, which is what is nice about the Oscars, because it's, and yeah, like you rightfully said, Sean Baker's been, always in the focus, but never got his due.
Always the bridesmaid, never the bride. Yeah.
Yeah. This is his time. And I think it's wonderful. I mean, it's one of the most wonderful nights for a filmmaker. I've experienced that once in my life. When I got Best Director for Hum Tum, and I know that feeling stays with you forever. And because there was no there was nothing that I could have done to win that award, except make a good film. Nothing behind the scenes. Like no manipulation, but which has now become a thing of not of our award. Yeah, but so I think the feeling that one gets, genuinely, your throat dries up, you run out of words. It's almost unbelievable. You can't believe what's happening to you at that point in time, because all your contemporaries are there. People you respect, people you admire, people you've grown up watching, they're all there and they're sitting and clapping for you. There is no bigger high than that in a filmmaker's life, in an actor's life, in a composer's life, in anybody's life. That moment of glory is just so life-changing, and it remains with you forever.
Ricky, he's also got a standing ovation from his peers.
Yes.
What do you have to say about this moment?
No, definitely. I think this is a moment like, if I have to compare it to another moment, it's like Sofia Coppola, winning for Lost in Translation. Because both are sort of like mildly romantic comedy movies, very low budget movies, very high on story, very high on emotions, and two different communities coming together, Japan, and in this case, it's Russia. So the thing is that I feel that, and Sofia Coppola also exactly same story. She paid her dues. She worked with numerous filmmakers and all of that stuff, and and this was her reckoning moment, Lost in Translation, and in this case, Sean Baker's reckoning moment is Anora. So I think it's sort of very similar in that respect. And also, I wanted to address a previous point that was made about making films for Oscars. A person who was an absolute champion at that was the disgraced and the criminal filmmaker Harvey Weinstein. He was very good at doing that. He would take on sometimes distressed productions which were halfway in and they've run out of money. He would buy those productions and he would make tweaks to the script, make tweaks to the shooting schedules and and the stories, and even sometimes pull out an actor and put in a different actor, and he would make those films completely Oscar worthy. And he was always successful. Every single film that he would touch would get multiple nominations or get multiple wins, from Shakespeare in Love to Crash to all the films that Quentin Tarantino made, because Quentin Tarantino, most of his films were actually produced by Harvey Weinstein. Most of Meryl Streep's movies were produced by Harvey Weinstein. So he was a champion at doing that, of how to make a film Oscar worthy and how to connect with the voting members.
Imagine how all of that has been buried under Me Too allegations. So all that body of work, what happens to people is just sad. But, now we are waiting for two big nods. That's Best Actress and Best Film. So who do you think is walking away with these two big ones?
Also,
I'm really getting it wrong, so don't ask me.
No, but with the context that Anora has just won Best Director, so I mean...
Do you think it is going to be the Best Film also? Yeah.
Best Film and Best Actress for Mikey Madison, possibly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe that.
taking off from here, I think I should not have worn my T-shirt. You're so well formally dressed and everything. You're Oscar-worthy dressed, and I'm just in a regular.
We were given guidelines.
I was not. My defense, I was just told to show up, which I did.
And you've shown up with stories, which is what we really appreciate.
Which is beautiful.
Ricky, Kunal, let's just take a second to tell our audiences a little bit more over here. We'll just come back to you in a second. So what we've watched take place so far, Best Director going to Sean Baker for Anora. Anora, as we've highlighted so much on this show, it's a small film with a small budget but a lot of heart. The story of a young sex worker who in her work comes across a Russian oligarch's son, marries him, and all of the problems that come out of it. So Sean Baker winning Best Director for that. He's someone who Florida Project really brought him into the spotlight. He, as we talked about earlier, this is huge for him.
Absolutely,
obviously.
and Toya, I'm really interested in knowing what exactly did he say in that acceptance speech of
Let's
his.
go to...
We'll go to Titas and know exactly that. Titas, tell us.
I think his speech was really beautiful. You know, he spoke about how cinemas are under threat. They're dying. There are independent theaters across the US that are dying. He mentioned a figure, I think, about during the pandemic, 1,000 screens had shut down. And, you know, how cinemas are especially under bigger threat because of the streaming platforms. He urged parents to introduce their children, their 5-year-olds, their 6-year-olds, by taking them to the theaters, because that's what he has also, you know, that's how he was introduced to the theaters. And he dedicated the award to his mother because, interestingly, it's her birthday today.
But also tell us, Titas, if you could, just a little bit more about Sean Baker. We keep saying, you know, we told our audiences earlier, he's always the bridesmaid, never the bride. And Florida Project really brought him into focus. Why is he someone whose artistry is really looked up to, but, you know, is being celebrated today finally?
Oh, you know, I think, you know, as a man, I feel, you know, his lens, the lens through which he really tells his stories, they're really sensitive, they're tender, and we cannot say that about a lot of male directors, you know. You know, when we think of male directors, it's usually these larger than life, let's say, crime thrillers or actioners, but the kind of films that he is known for, they are like, you know, it hits home. They're like more like slice of life films. And that's what really makes him stand out, you know, among his contemporaries, his peers.
Absolutely, and while we are talking, Titas, I think the Best Actress Award is going to be announced because we have the nominees, that list is that's being played out at the Oscar Award ceremony. So we are waiting for that big announcement. So that's the second last award. So conjectures are being drawn on whether or not it is going to be Demi Moore or Mikey Madison for that matter, or it is going to be a completely different person.
Yeah, we've only been actually
talking
tossing up
about
between
these
those two.
Yeah. So we will just know very, very shortly.